like, I don't think that what I'm doing is a serious profession.
Right.
That's huge.
Talking about being late for work.
Like, you can't expect people to respect your art if you yourself can't do it. And
punctuality is very
respecting
important.
your art means that you treat it as a profession, and then every day you walk in through that door at the same time or your scheduled time. Obviously, if there's certain situations, yes.
Well, stuff happens, obviously,
it's
but
understandable.
only sometimes. It should only be every once in a blue moon. And
I live my life very chill, and to me, nothing weird ever happens.
Right.
I know a bunch of people around me that all kinds of weird things happen all the time. And I'm just like,
Well, when they tell me that kind of stuff, I'm like, I have 3 kids and one of them's a teenager. Don't come to me with your stories. You know what I mean? Because I can come right back at you with a bunch of them. But all at the end of the day, they're just excuses and stories. So stop, okay? Like, that, I don't want to hear it. Like, you're responsible for you. You should have got up earlier, or you should have did this sooner, or whatnot. Whatever the situation is, it's like, at the end of the day, they're just excuses and stories. You know?
This kind of energy is never good in a tattoo shop, especially when what you're trying to do is offer a great product and excellence and great service.
Goes against it.
And like I said, I like super like the respecting your own art. Like I think it's just disrespectful to yourself, first of all.
Yeah.
To not, place your profession like at the level that you demand other people to respect.
Well, and our profession is time, like it's time based, so it's like, yeah, it's important, very important.
Everybody's like tattoo artists or God, they're just, I don't know what it is.
They do say it is something with the right and
with
the left
art.
part of the brain.
Some with the art
the
part.
artist and the brain.
Special.
It's more complex.
Right.
All
people
over
are
the place.
just very
ADHD is
special.
more common. Like,
so check this out.
It just is.
Sensitivity.
I think.
But it's also they're a bunch of ninnies.
That's what I mean. Most of them, especially the newer, ones.
Are a bunch of ninnies.
Especially the newer
ones. Like they need to sack up, take responsibility for themselves, look in the mirror, and be like, I am the only one responsible for what is happening.
Well, they're either it's like this way or that way with them. They're either full blown, like they're tough, whatever, like old school. Then there's the newer ones. Not all newer ones, but the newer ones are just.
I know what you mean. You know what? I did both.
Okay.
And
so did I, and I realized I needed to take responsibility for my life and change it.
And I was, a fucking disaster person. And then I stopped, drinking and doing drugs. And then I was a very responsible, amazing person. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's just that.
Well, how about the ones that don't even do drugs or drink? They just literally make horrible decisions as if they were drinking.
Well,
dude, you're not drunk right now?
That's a whole other story.
Went home with that girl and she stole all my stuff and now I don't have a tattoo machine to work with. You're like, what? So it is. I don't even know if it's the drugs and alcohol. Yes, that's one aspect, but it's just people not taking responsibility for their own lives and not wanting to grow up. Because our industry does allow for people to kind of live under that umbrella of, let's just say, for lack of a better way to explain it, like mommy, daddy. A lot of them still live at home with their parents. A lot of them like have roommates still, right? So they've not really grown up. They don't have to grow up because they make really good money, odd hours. Do you know what I mean? Like, so our industry does kind of cater to those that still want to live that rock star lifestyle.
You know what I think? It attracts them. Like, it's a profession
they think of it as like easy money. I can still party.
Those kind of people. Because I think that's what
it's kind of always has gone hand in hand though.
But yes, you look at the tattoo industry and you see a lot of people that, like we were saying before, like I've never met people with so many problems. and I do think that it is
or so
like
sensitive. I'm like, dude, I just said your line work needs to be tightened up a little bit.
Right?
Like, chill. Like, wouldn't you want me to tell you?
Yes.
I would want you to tell me. Like, seriously, like, if you see me doing something wrong with my art,
that helps you
please
grow.
Tell me. Or if I cross-contaminated and didn't realize it, for fuck's sakes, tell me. That's our lives on the line. So it's like, to me, that's crazy too, because I'll say something, and I'm very kind and polite. Like, I'll say, hey, earlier I noticed that you grabbed your bottle, make sure you hit that with some Maticide, and next time try not to do that. Like, I know, and they're all upset, and you're like, oh my God, like, could I have not said that any nicer? And this guy's upset now, and he's a grown man.
I kind of really appreciate having worked in industry and in restaurants and stuff like that. Because I have worked in jobs that were just like, they're just shit.
Right.
And you just had a boss that told you were shit and that you had to do things and at this time you started and you know
and you're just nothing to them. You're just another employee.
And you just have to fucking work. And having all that experience, then working in the tattoo industry, you're like, oh, wow, this job's awesome.
You get a lot more freedom.
This is amazing.
A lot more freedom.
Just put in there because we have these newer guys that have never had other jobs. They're just like they're young and the guys that go straight to tattooing. Yeah. It's like it's like you have to explain to them that like if you worked in any other fucking job, the boss would tell you you're a piece of shit. You would eat that shit and go back to work.
Yes.
Here you tell them they're a piece of shit. Like you're just nice and you're like, hey,
oh my God, they're like, you know what? I don't need you. No, this is the thing. I don't need you. I'm the shit. I'm gonna go work somewhere else. And you're like, all I did was say that you cross-contaminated, dude. Like that's my life on the line. Like my family comes in the shop. Other people's families are in the shop. Like we could catch AIDS. You know, like you don't understand. Like you're literally taking it personal. When it's not personal, it's business. You know, like all I said was listen, work on that. All I said was tighten that up. And you're literally like getting so upset that you're like, I'm just gonna go to another shop and work. I don't need this shit. And you're like, are you serious right now? Like I came at you kindly. I literally came at you with kindness and said, you know, don't do that. You know, it's just silly. It's really kind of silly. I mean, how personal some of these guys take it. They take it personal. That's the difference. So instead of looking at like a business, they're getting all emotional. You know, very emotional.
My view on this is that
that's what I would say. Is they're very emotional.
When you take on an apprentice, you show them how to tattoo, but you're not their father.
Right.
You don't have to show them like
and
how
you're really
to
not their friend
behave in life.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you can be their mentor, but
and like I said,
it's hard.
Someone can draw and tattoo very good, but if they cannot work within the parameters of your establishment under the way you really want your shop to be ran, they gotta go.
Yeah.
You cannot have that energy.
No.
To me, it's
and
like
that's ego too.
It's must.
What we talked about. That's ego. When they think that just one small correction entitles them, actually, they're entitled now to quit and leave. You're just like, are you kidding me?
Sure, they can quit all they want.
It's like, but over the silly things, you know, where you're just like, wow, like, well, but this is the thing from an owner standpoint. Now I'm out an artist, and now I gotta work even more, and I'm trying to be home with my kids over silly things. You know what I mean? But you're right, though. I don't want that energy there. But it would be nice for me to get rid of the energy after I've replaced it with someone else. You know what I mean?
We were talking about how many tattoo artists there are now. You throw up, I'm hiring tattoo sign on social media or whatever, and in no time you have 3.
Especially if you have a good reputation.
I mean, at our shop in Madrid, we always get messages and people just showing up like, hey, are you guys looking for a tattoo? And people are always there. So, you know what? If they feel entitled to leave, go right ahead.
Anyways, you don't want that energy anyways.
I'll find someone else, and within a week or 2, you have someone.
Yeah, it is true. It's only usually like a couple weeks.
The problem is that you know we don't deal well with changes. Like
or you want to, or sometimes you feel guilty. Like for me personally, because I am so like kind and I am like an empath, I'll feel like, oh, maybe I should have gave the person another chance, or oh my gosh, well they were changing, they were growing in our atmosphere, because we noticed that a lot with our shop is people come in and they leave, or they stay and they change, like for the better. They become better, they become more positive, their art gets better because we provide an atmosphere for that. Do you know what I mean? So like sometimes when we have to let people go, or they leave on silly shit, in a way I feel like, did I do them a disservice? Could I have helped them more? Could I have, you know what I'm saying? But I know it's not. I know it's just a silly thought.
Your job is to make awesome tattoos.
I know.
You're like a shop that creates tattoos.
And we already provide the atmosphere for them to be the best them that they can be. We really do. Like we mediate, we have shop meetings, we do everything that we possibly can do to provide, like I said, an atmosphere for every single artist to express themselves freely and never feel like anyone's talking about them behind their back. I mean, that's a big thing. You know, gossip is huge. We nip it in the bud quickly. That one is something that must be addressed as soon as it arises. I mean, because it just can grow so quickly, you know? It grows very quickly when I have a problem with Joe and I tell you about it. That's not good.
Yeah, no.
That's not good because now Joe doesn't know that he's pissing me off,
right.
and I'm getting more pissed, and now I'm turning you against Joe. You know, it's like,
funny.
Oh, it's horrible. We nip it in the bud quick though. We have a shop meeting immediately.
My boss kind of did that a lot more, and I was very good at setting barriers. Like when he would come to me and he would be like, "Hey, did you see this dude?" I'm like, "Yeah, did you tell him about it?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Well, tell him, not me."
Right.
And right away, and
Plus
with time,
it.
I kind of made my manager change it a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah.
But we're talking about changes, like small changes, and people like adapting. Other things are just like some people are just way out of hand.
Right.
Like, you know, there's some
situations
you're
problem.
like, dude, I am not dealing with this.
It's not a small tweak. It's
it's
a miracle.
Right. And that's, in the end, that's not your job. Your job is to like produce awesome tattoos and have an environment where people feel comfortable getting those tattoos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Job that I've made the most money at in my entire life.
Okay.
And I cannot stand it. I hate it. Like.
Okay, so what do you hate about it?
Management. I mean, already the owner and the management is not interested at all in the product or in the craft.
Just the money.
Just money. And I have seen this person sell
That's
tattoos.
what's wrong with the tattoo industry, period.
Yes. I've seen this person sell tattoos to people that in my mind I was just like exploding because you can't just you can't have a person super dark skin come in and be like, yeah man, we'll do a black and gray realism piece on you that's gonna be awesome, or like watercolors. I'm like,
yeah, no, oh no,
wow, this person. And the problem was the focus on his shop was producing quantity over quality.
Okay.
And
just kind of like get them in, get them out, get the money.
Transient customers to where they're visiting.
So you don't have to deal with them again.
Right. They're like, you know, high tourist, high turnout shops. Like these will produce.
People do come back.
these shops produce money. They do. Like and it was kind of like, you know, how do you run a successful shop? It's weird because I've never seen a shop make so much money, yet I would not consider that shop successful.
Right. Right.
And
but is it long? It's probably not long-term money. It's probably right now money because if they,
I don't know.
Like think about it. If all those people think about it, Google reviews. We talked about reviews. If those people from all over the world left reviews, eventually it will catch up to that studio. He will have to change the name of it or change location. So it's like, where's the success in that? Where's the success in that?
Definitely won't change location because if there's anything that is helping him produce all this money is location.
Right.
It's a very strategic point to where there's a lot of tourists and very little tattoo shops.
Right.
So for example, if you go on like South Beach on Washington, there's tons and tons of tourists, but there's also tons and tons of tattoo shops. So it's all like really spread out.
Well, it's like, you know, you mentioned the word like prostitution. That's what it makes me think of. Like prostitution. Like, what are you really giving up for that money? And is it really worth it? You know, it's like, because I feel like eventually that is going to come crumbling down on him.
I
don't see it. Like, it might last 20, 30 years even. But I'm telling you, that shop will come back. It's karma. You know, like, it's not going to work.
It should.
It can't work.
I've seen some of the most immoral, unethical things in the tattoo industry in that shop. And again, it's the shop where I have also made the most money in my entire life.
But did you feel good about the money? I mean, was it like at least you
really.
felt like you did a good like?
Oh,
like,
right.
In a
I
way,
did my best. I did my best within that shop to be like, yo, I'm gonna offer, because in the end, it was a very like I kind of, it's weird in general. The tattoo shops in the United States to me are like the Far West. Like, you know, someone walks in through the door, and it's like, who's, you know, the quickest one to draw their guns out gets to tattoo that client, and stuff like that. To me, it's like insane. To where in Spain, you know, the client walks in, and then
we push them to portfolios.
Manager assesses what they want, and kind of takes them towards the artist that's gonna work.
Because it should be about the art, first and foremost. What type of art
so
are
to
you
me,
looking for?
you know, this place is like like I said,
wow.
it seemed to be like the Far West. Someone walks in and it's like, yo, who's...
I mean, even as a client, I mean,
who's the first one to get there, you know?
Wow.
And so I would always, you know, treat people how I know how to treat them.
Right.
And I would, you know, assess and inform them. But sometimes the manager would be the one that did that, and I couldn't do anything about that because I was working under his roof. And I mean, I could always deny, say no, I wouldn't do that. You know, you have to be your own moral judge on the ethics behind tattooing and who you're going to affiliate yourself with. And sometimes money isn't the answer. You know, sometimes just, you know, your product has to be your success and not the money that comes behind it.
So would you say like that's your definition of success? So what is Paul's definition of success?
Well, like we were saying
For
before,
you
my
personally.
success, you know, the meaning of success has changed, you know, kind of throughout the years, and it mends itself. But I guess to me, true success is when you create without any pressure from anyone, and you can comfortably live with that.
Nice.
I think that's success.
Yeah.
Because you're not
That's good to me too.
you're not too worried about money, and you feel free to make whatever you want. That's success.
Yeah.
Like when you feel no pressure, neither from the client demanding something,
Right.
or neither from life demanding you create more money. I think that would be kind of like my balance of success. And
Would you have any idea or like any, for you personally, could you maybe explain how you are working towards getting more of what you want?
Well, the way that I'm
Like
doing
some
it
of the things you're
is
doing?
in the beginning of the interview, I mentioned it a little bit, and I have a distinction between what I consider my professional style, like what I like. I do realism as like a way to pay the bills.
Right. But you're very good at it.
And
yes.
but I love
you
it.
love it.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't take away from the fact that, you know, I don't like it. I see it as something it's a product that sells, and you know that.
Like you would maybe get away from that more and more. Is
Yes.
that what you're kind of saying? Like you
So-
kind of want to maybe start getting away from that eventually to get to your next level of success.
I'm gonna restructure this, because
Okay.
I would say that my true artistic expression, when I sit down and I start to draw, it's my drawings that I've been creating before. These I call them quimeras. They're like these very like fantasy like illustrations, and every time I kind of tend to work with them like a little bit more realistic. But those are the kind of drawings that I like to make for myself, as like to fulfill my artist needs. And then the realistic tattoos that I make, that's an artistic expression also, but I use that more to fulfill my financial needs. And I do like that there's a distinction, because I work well under pressure with one, which is the one that I do to make, you know, a living out
Right.
of, and you need that pressure. Sometimes you can't
Sometimes,
just
yes.
you can't just be sitting on a couch waiting for inspiration to come.
Yeah.
You
I
need
agree.
to have a habit of work and consistency. And that's why I like, you know, my black and gray realism and my designs, and I get it on my computer, and I you know, manipulate and draw things, and it's work.
Yeah.
And I need that. I need that, you
And
know,
the clients
you know, organized work.
giving you what they want, telling you what they want.
And then the other part, which is where it's like completely just like inspirational, out of the mind, you know, like very automatic. And in fact, I that's the exercise that I do when I make every drawing, is that I start not knowing what I'm going to draw. And I just allow myself to kind of whatever comes out, flow out. And from there I start constructing it and building it. And that, to me, is, you know, my artistic side, letting itself be and be happy.
Yeah.
And I'm not making this for anyone. I'm making it for me.
Well, you want to tattoo more of that?
Exactly.
Is that
I guess
goal,
my final goal that I would consider success within this would be to freely create these illustrations and then tattoo them.
Yeah.
No questions asked. Because one of the things that I don't like, or that are like kind of a pain, is that when I create designs for for my clients and realistic stuff, and they come in and they're like, yeah, but can we do this or can we change that or can
and it might have been the one part that you
can
loved.
we put the name of my children in
you're
there
like,
or something, and you're like,
yeah.
And then and I will,
right.
I'll obviously assess the situation, like we could, or let's do this or do that. I won't always say yes, but I always try to find a way, a middle ground.
Yes.
I always try to find a middle ground, and I do think that also forces the artist to kind of get a little more creative, because sometimes we're so used to just being like no.
Right.
It's like, well, that's not how like new things were created, by people just saying no.
Right.
It's by people trying to figure out a new way how to do it. But going back to what I was saying about success is creating these drawings with no one tampering them, and just tattooing them as they are, and obviously
complete freedom.
Also selling them as prints
art.
or as art. In the end, success is creating art and then tattooing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nice. Perfect.